Hey, welcome back to the Cross TV with your boy, the Cross. Sad news coming out of Florida. Total of 7 people that lost their lives. And when I say senseless, this has got to be top three senseless acts of violence, you know, that I haven't heard of. So let's go ahead and take that bop.
We are confirming new information about that shooting that happened in Sarasota that left 5 people dead, including the shooter.
Neighbors told us after the shooting they needed to know if they were safe, and we are committed to finding answers to calm their fears. So Tampa Bay 28 reporter Mary O'Connell spent the day for us in Sarasota following through on this case.
Mary joining us live there tonight from the murder scene. And Mary, 2 big developments you're breaking here tonight. One, detectives are working on new leads that this is connected to a double homicide in South Florida. And 2, the sheriff's office just releasing the names of the victims inside that home.
Yeah, we just got that new information from the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office naming all 4 victims and the suspect here in this shooting that happened on Tuesday off Fallcrest Circle. Their names are now on your screen. We've learned from law enforcement it appears the suspect died of self-inflicted wounds.
Is that how we always, find out about things? The suspect take their own life. So it's like if you got things going on that bad in your life, why you gotta go take innocent people? Something tells me that when we dig deep into this one at some point, that it's going to be a disgruntled ex lover who can't deal with their emotions. But I mean, he's 51 years old, so you got to be mature enough to things don't work out, go seek help. It's crazy.
And we've been out here in this neighborhood all day listening to neighbors and gathering information. Here's what we know about this investigation so far that's rocked this tight-knit community. The call came in around 12:30 Tuesday afternoon. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office said deputies found a male victim in the front yard. The victim later died. SCSO said deputies went into the house where they found 4 more deceased victims, 2 women and 2 men.
The neighborhood is very nice, very safe. Everybody walks with their dogs at night. I've slept with my garage door open. Nothing ever happened.
We went back.
I'm gonna let you know, it's like crime don't discriminate. Sometimes that's the worst place to live at, is when your community is quiet and safe, and you leave your windows open, and you can walk late at night. Normally that's when you get targeted the most, because they feel like, all right, this is an easy mark, this is an easy lick. It's like, wow. It's just still sad that you can't live in a upscale community. Don't know much about Florida, but this definitely looked like some upscaleness right here. So it's just sad. So like I said, she had to have knew the people, because again, this is linked to something else that happened earlier, that day.
Back to the neighborhood to try and get answers from the sheriff's office when neighbors told us this.
And I keep asking if we're safe, because I need to know that.
Here's what we've learned. Officials got word from Fort Lauderdale police that they were working a double homicide and believed the Sarasota shooting could be related. We're told Fort Lauderdale police provided suspect vehicle information, advising after their homicide, cameras captured the car going north through Punta Gorda before the Sarasota homicide. Here's what Chris Davis, who works nearby, told me.
I was pretty, shocked. To hear that. Yeah, it was pretty shocking.
According to the Sarasota Sheriff's Office, detectives were able to recover video of the suspect's car going into the neighborhood and said the sound of gunfire was captured shortly after. Officials said about 37 minutes later, the male victim, who was found in the front lawn, was seen entering the neighborhood in his car, approached the front door where he was shot. We met Jeff Dixon near the scene Tuesday.
Yeah, you gotta feel for the family for sure.
The sheriff's office shared a few more details, saying the suspect was among the dead inside the home. Based on early information, SCSO said the suspect had been in a previous relationship with one of the victims in Fort Lauderdale, and that victim was connected to the victims in Sarasota.
It's hard.
There it is. domestic, violence, domestic situation. So obviously, the lady left him, didn't want nothing to do with him. Obviously, you unhinge, and because somebody don't want your butt, you're gonna go take out them and their family, and then you take the coward's way out and unalive yourself. It's just like ladies, like even gents, man, just be careful who you talk to. It's like those red flags are for real. Man.
Horrible. It is very horrible. Yeah. Feel bad for the other parts of the family. You know.
Now, the sheriff's office tells me that this is still a very active investigation, and at this time, they haven't figured out a motive.
I mean, do we got to get Matlock? Like, do we got to get Columbo involved? It's pretty obvious that the motive was clear. The relationship ended, and he couldn't take it. So he took the coward's way out, murdered the whole family, and it's just sad. And, love and condolences goes out to the family, to friends, to the victims of this senseless act of like violence. You know, it's just what is the world coming to? Even a neighborhood like that, no, nobody's safe. Like there's nobody in there.
In Sarasota, Mary O'Connell, Tampa Bay, 28.
All right, Dennis, thank you. Well, tonight we are confirmed.
All right, as always, give me your thoughts, comments on another senseless situation. And thanks for tuning in to the Cross TV. Until next time, peace.